Da 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 da.
Supposed to go a little something like
just don't get it, no, you just don't get it. We shout to the sky.
so mine belongs to you. It isn't you, it falls on me. The only love sensory taking far away out of my own mind. It isn't you, it falls on me. The only love sensory taking far away. It isn't you, it falls on me. The only love sensory taking far away out of my own mind. It isn't you, it falls on me. The only love sensory taking far away out of my own mind. I've been put down hard and screaming, and I'm way past believing. Is there a chance for you and me in this best of century? I'm a train wreck over you, a one-way ticket to bad news. I'm a train wreck over you, crash and burn, we'll never learn. I'm a train wreck, yes I am. Ooh. Stop blowing all that smoke and talking the smack. We've heard it all before, we ain't going back. Right out the cage and the same old song. How long can this go on? I'm a train wreck over you, a one-way ticket to bad news. I'm a train wreck over you, wasted. Water on with your fist. Now you lay in a cell with your tears. Will it all be okay if you fall back in limbo? I watch some ways they take you in as I pour away the walls broken. I hate to relate to all your sin, so I won't be afraid of my nightmares again. Be okay. Be okay.
I don't know why I did that. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fancy, working on. So I got this really cool coffee cup,
Okay.
and nobody thinks it's cool but me.
All right.
And I seen it, and it had to be like some kind of like gag gift or something, probably,
Mhm.
right? So I'm in the dollar store, and I see this fucking coffee cup, and I'm like, I gotta have it.
Oh, that's the shit. No pun intended.
Dude, but look,
That's great. Oh,
it's got poo-poo inside. Like, I just finished my coffee. So anyway, yeah,
That's
it's got
awesome.
like it's got like a Hershey kiss down at the bottom.
that
I'm
is so
loving
good.
my daughter's like, Mom, that's really gross. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
That's the whole point.
So that train wreck song that we just listened to, that is on the album that you just finished. Is that yes?
Yeah, it just came out on this past Friday, the 17th.
Oh, hell yeah. How's that
Yeah.
going, by the way?
What happened?
I said, how is that going, by the way?
So far, so good. That's actually sort of an understatement. It's really kind of blowing up right now. Everything is going fantastic. We're on well over 100 radio stations worldwide and XM radio play and all kinds of stuff, and just chugging along.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that's the start of it all. Yeah. I mean, in radio, you go as soon as you get to XM, you can't really go any higher. So
Right. You just got to hope that it stays on there for whatever indefinite period of time.
that's
But yeah,
right.
we had opening night on Saturday at the Bank and Blues in Daytona and sold the place out. And we were actually between you, me, and the fence post, we're actually above capacity too. So it was really, really cool.
That's awesome. Well, that's got to be some kind of energy to be proud about when you're on stage, to have the whole place packed out.
Oh yeah, it makes you feel really good. And then like
Yeah.
there's also the thing too, like for the first couple songs where you're like, wow, it would really suck if I messed up right now. It's like so you get past the first couple or three songs and then it's smooth sailing. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Well, when I have to admit, like when I first saw your profile, I did not think that you were a bluesy singer.
I'm curious to know, what did you think it was going to be?
The beard, man. It was the beard. The beard.
Yeah.
I felt like it was going to be some kind of like rock almost. And then I clicked on you and I was like, oh, wow, this is totally different. Totally different than what I thought it was going to be.
That's so you were expecting like a 5-finger death punch kind of thing?
No, I mean something similar. I'm not gonna lie,
Okay.
something similar. But yeah, I'm a big fan of 5-finger death punch though. So
Cool.
I mean, but no,
Nothing that you can say is a dig. I'm curious because it's like this is all I do. So it's like, cause some people, if I go to sing somewhere, cause I'm not like a particularly huge dude. I'm like 5'9" and like $160. I'm like extraordinarily underwhelming. And so like whenever I go out somewhere and somebody hasn't ever heard me play and then I sing and then they're like, oh shit, wasn't expecting that to happen. I'm like, okay, well,
No.
that's cool. What were you expecting to happen? Like, you know,
Well, I think, I think people in a general thought, which is probably something that we as people should change, we automatically stereotype something when we see it, right? So it's not, but I was super surprised, but I think that's good though, because it kind of draws in a different side of attention than what you're actually, drawing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely, then that's just another thing that reminds them of, it sounds stupid, but it's like, oh yeah, that was that dude that I thought was going to sound like Brent Smith that actually sounds like him.
I was trying to place who you actually sound like, but you really don't. Like, you have so many different qualities to your voice.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I couldn't place you. But I think that you have an amazing voice, by the way.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I think there's just more big things to come for you. Maybe that XM radio.
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping that as things look, my whole thing is I just have to make sure that I wake up early enough to be able to, actually be there when I'm supposed to. So past that.
I'm so kidding. It's quite all right. Shit happens on a daily basis. And I've been late before too. So in several things actually.
Yeah. I'm usually, and the thing that like bothers me so much is that I'm usually always like, if I got to be somewhere at 3:30, then I'm there at like 3:15, and I'm just like, and it's awesome because I drive a black van with no windows. And so, and like really, really like, I think it is actually a legal window tint. And, I'll just like sit in the van, like for like 15 minutes prior. Nobody parks next to me. Nobody messes with me because they think that I'm going to like kidnap them or kill them or something. And I'm all about it. I'm like, yeah, dude. Like,
listen, that reminds me of like actually one of the few dates that I went on that sparked such a memory that I will probably remember it for the rest of my life.
Oh God.
There was a guy that I dated, and he drove a black van with tinted windows, and I thought it was cool, different, vibe, whatever. Sure. One day we're going to the beach and we go to open up the back, and he literally has a what's the concrete block, the cinder, back there with rope and a shovel, and I'm like, oh, okay, what?
What? Oh,
He's like, no, I was doing work at a friend's house, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, it's the only 3 items you have in the back of your vehicle, right?
You took me to a beach in a van with dark windows that has cinder blocks, rope, and a shovel in the back of it. Mm-hmm. All you did was you laid out multiple different ways that you could dispose of me. Like, you've got rope and cinder blocks in case you want to try the water, and then you have a shovel because we're at the beach, and it's like,
I mean, I always come well prepared just in case any situations arise. I'm not a dumb girl, but
right.
That block's kind of heavy.
Yeah. It almost would act as a really good counterweight.
Yeah, well, I'm a fat ass, so you might need a little bit more than just that one block. But I like my chicken and my greens, so you might.
Oh, you and me both.
Oh man, I'm so excited. You love like country food?
Oh hell yeah.
So we have Danielle Kimbrell. She's probably watching right now. So we have this huge group of people that come together once a month, and we put on it's kind of like an interview party for artists like in local area, not so local area, because we
Right.
have some that are on the roster that are from Alabama and other states. So it's not just this area. But this month we're actually doing a Cupid contest on the 26th, and the
Yeah,
artist,
you said something about what is that?
dude. So I try to make like a little funny thing with each party, right? So
Okay.
like this one is the Cupid contest. So I was going through Google and they had a drunken Cupid. I can tell you how I came up with the idea. And it's this grown ass bald man in a diaper with a beard and like country, like, swamp boots and like a hat turned to the side. And he's got like this plastic bow and arrow on his
I
shoulder.
think I have a couple relatives that meet that description.
Me
I
too,
think.
actually. So that's what we decided to go with. So I got like some red wings. Don't comment. I understand. It's a guy thing. It happens on every morning chat. Yes, I got my red wings. And yes, I plan on wearing them on
Wow.
Cupid contest. Yeah.
Well,
So
you heard it here first.
so yeah, we're gonna dress up like Cupid. We sell tickets for VIP, which includes dinner. So it allows the VIP guests to come out and do a meet and greet with our artists. Not only that, but Miss Danielle Kimbrell sets up a big family dinner table, and we're doing he wanted a poor man's boil, but I'm a Capricorn and I'm extra in everything that I do. So I went and we got tons of shit, man. We got frog legs, we got the lobster, we got the crawfish, she's making jambalaya, we got homemade bread coming in. Yeah,
So
it's gonna be, and our
talking
jambalaya
about
has gator in it, so we are
we're talking about down home Southern food. I didn't realize we were talking. Okay. Yeah, that's
He's
even
like,
better.
okay.
I was like, let's go, because I love to cook. Like, and everything that I do is all like Louisiana Cajun kind of stuff.
Right.
And because it's really kind of all I'm good at. But it's like between that and I can microwave the fuck out of a can of ravioli too. But
Or Roman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's I mean, I'm a poor girl with 3 kids, so Roman is a very household delicacy here.
Oh yeah, you can do a lot of stuff with that though.
I mean, if you've ever been to jail, you would know that
you could do. I've made some gnarly stuff with ramen noodles. You could do anything with them. They're just, and you get packs of them for like what? Well, okay, so inflation, so it's like $1 now. But
they had this huge like thing on how what's that girl's name from the Kardashians, Kylie, whatever. So
all of their names are like only 3% away from each other. Like
their mom must have had a terrible time, because I would have been like calling everybody.
Oh, that they all look the same when they were little too. Like there's no way that they didn't. Now that they're, grown up and stuff, when they're toddlers and stuff, I'm sure that she made a career out of messing that up. I'm sure. I mess it up with my nephews all the time. Yeah. And they don't even really look alike.
My 3 children they look similar. They have the similar features, but I did that whole kind of 5 for 5 kind of thing, like at Arby's. Every 5 years I tried a different baby daddy, so like they it's funny if I make fun of myself, right? But I got an 11-year-old, and then my daughter's 6, and then my youngest is almost 3. So she is
That's a lot going on.
Yeah, well, yeah. It quite is actually. But it's cool because then I get to be at home and do this. Hi, princess. All right, go over there. Okay, I'm almost there. Give me just a minute. Okay.
Speaking of,
the princess, you look very cute. Did you cut that shirt too? Yeah. Okay. We're in the cutting the shirt phase, where that if it's not a belly shirt and it's not high enough, then she has to like cut the whole bottom off the shirt.
I
So
don't know
she
if that
walks
phase
around like a
ever
belly
ends.
dancer.
I don't know if that phase ever ends. I might be guilty of that too still. I mean,
shut up.
You know.
You're calling me out here. You're calling.
Oh, man.
That apple definitely does not fall far from the tree.
I'm sure. I used to get in so much trouble growing up because I'd get like a new shirt and then I'd sit there and I'd be like in the middle of school because I don't give a shit what they're talking about. So the first thing that's going on in my head is I'm like, wow, I just got this freaking dope ass t-shirt the other day. I'm like, it would look really cool if I just cut the sides off. And then I'd go home and then cut the sides off of it and then wear it around. And then like my mom or whatever who would have just bought it for me would be like, why'd you do that? Why would you do that? That was perfectly good, and then,
you did it to every shirt though, didn't you?
All the time. I bought packs of t-shirts specifically to cut them up because it was nice to like, I would say that I used to only wear them to the beach and stuff. But it was like every single day.
So you basically like to wear a shirt without wearing a shirt.
I actually don't like wearing shirts at all. I really don't. I genuinely don't. If I go out places like t-shirts, I don't generally, a lot of my t-shirts, I cut the necks out of them because I don't like how close up to my neck it is. And like, if I wear button downs, I might as well just not even be wearing a shirt because I'm like, it's so much more comfortable for me to just, and I'm sure that I look like a shady motel owner, especially, getting out of my van and the things like, unbuttoned below my necklace, but like,
just don't ever put a shovel in the back of the phone.
Yeah. Or cinder blocks.
No, definitely not. See, that was the only question. Okay. That was the only question. I could get the rope and I'm helping a friend.
Well, why wouldn't you take it back out? If I'm going to go on a date with a girl, I'm taking her to a beach. Now here's the thought process. In the back of my suspicious vehicle, I have 2 cinder blocks, rope, and a shovel, and we're going to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man.
Most men don't have that train of thought, though.
It's all about the impression because it's everything is like credit. It takes a long time to build it up, and it takes 2 seconds to wreck it. And if I'm 2 weeks into this thing and I'm putting in this effort and I've got this great impression, now all of a sudden I'm like, hey, this is how I'm going to dispose of your body. It's like, that's what it looks like anyway, And then all of that goes out. She leaves. She never talks to me again,
I have a lot of guy friends. When I was in high school, I was in ROTC weightlifting class. I was not popular on the girl side. Okay. So, a lot of my guy friends have guy troubles.
Why? Because
they'll call me and they'll be like, she's mad at me. And I'm like, well, what'd you do? He's like, I was washing my car, and I didn't call her until da-da-da-da. I'm like, okay, how long were you out there washing your car? And he's like, I don't know, probably a few hours. And then I had to go vacuum it. And then, then I went and grabbed a beer because I was hot and tired. The train thought of calling her and letting her know what the fuck you were doing. No, now in a guy's sense, right? A guy would be like,
I totally get his thing. And
me too, though, because so would do it. I would smoke a bowl, go and wash my car, totally forget I was supposed to call someone, and then recollect as I'm drinking my beer that I was supposed to call you back. I'm the same way.
And it always goes the same way where you're sitting there drinking the beer and it's not like, oh, let me go call this person. It's just, huh. I was supposed to call them. And it's like
Shit.
so
It's like one of them Beavis and Butthead moments where he's like,
I totally get it though, because that's like one of those things that if you don't, it's not the first thing on my mind, especially when it's like, okay, I'm getting up today, and then there's the good morning text, and that's cool. And then
Right.
the first thing that's on my mind after that is how much washing my car is going to suck. And so I'm focused on that. You know, you go out there, you start washing the car. It does suck. You're thinking about how much it sucks. And you're just like, wow, dude, I really don't want to be doing this right now. And then you're done with it. And you're like, thank God that's over. Now I have to vacuum the interior. And then by the time you get through all that, and then you're focused on like, and you've got kids, so you know about this. You're focused on like the cracker crumbs and shit around the bottoms of the seats and stuff. And so, in trying to make sure that you get all the spent McDonald's fries out of the pockets in the back of the driver's seat, and then you're done with all that, and then you're
The ones
drinking
that
the
look
beer.
like
And you're
strange aliens because they've been back there for a week now. And everybody knows if you leave a burger from McDonald's or French fry for at least more than 48 hours, it goes back to its original form.
I used to have a Chevy Suburban, and I bought it, and it was kind of a piece, but the it already smelled like mildew anyway because it leaked water in the back of it. So it's just like you had to roll the windows down just to be able to survive between that and the monoxide poisoning. And so I always had this hint of smell like I had a bag of McDonald's in the truck for like the whole 3 years that I owned it. And I'm like, mildew doesn't smell like that. Although I wouldn't put it past McDonald's to put mildew in their food. It's like, it doesn't smell like that. So at some point I'm going through and I do a deep clean on this thing to try and get rid of the mildew smell. And I'm in the back. And at this point I've had the thing for like 2 years. And the pocket in the back of the driver's seat, I'm like, yeah, I should probably go down here. And no glove on at all, just dive my hand into this pocket. And I touch foreign substance. And I'm like, what the hell is this? It was literally a medium order, still full of McDonald's French fries that had been sitting in the back pocket of that seat the whole time I had it. And they were still like, there was no mold on them. There was no bugs on them. Like, they're not even good enough for bugs. It was like, I'm sure they were stale as shit, but like, it was ridiculous. I cannot believe this. Yeah. That never smelled like McDonald's again after that. So that was it. But I had a whole medium fry untouched in the back.
I think my lady on my team, she watches in the morning, so she would agree. McDonald's is not food. We have the I'm gonna put this down just a little bit, but we have the interviews I was telling you about, and she is a I hate this word, man. I hate this word. I'm gonna let you know how much I hate this word. Okay. Permaculturalist.
I don't even know what that is.
So it's an organic gardener.
Okay.
And so she and Miss Diane Everett writes hold on. I'm going to mess up this word too. What is
Metaphysical?
Metaphysical and visionary poetry. So she has anywho. So we invite these two ladies out. These two ladies are in charge of our Body, Mind, and Soul project. So it is a way that we can kind of connect with the artists to when you get on stage and you're in Daytona and you got a sold out show and there's no more room for even standing and you get off stage and that energy changes. You've gone from this high energy to now like this bottom low, not a bottom low energy, but it's like more you're decreasing down. So you as a human are going to want to be like, oh, I want that energy again. I need that energy again. again. And that's
and
why
that's how you get addicted to cocaine.
that is exactly correct. Or if you listen to oh, never mind. Let's not do that. It's a live video, Chrissy. You can't just comment anything you want to. But yes, anywho, so they come out, and I like to call them my spiritualists, because in every way, shape, or form, they are amazing females. And they're the type of females that don't get mad that you're out all day washing your car. You know what I mean? They're the kind of females that know that you're about on that level of, and they know that you're probably just now sitting down for a beer, and that just means that it gives them 3 extra hours to cook dinner, right?
Well,
So,
and we're like, I mean, we're one track minded as men. We're one track minded. We're entirely oblivious to absolutely everything all the time. And I mean, we're just not all that bright most of the time. So it's like, you just cut us some slack, accept the fact that we're a little bit on the dull side,
Miss Danielle just commented, and she said, the same person that promotes population control owns most of the farmlands in the U.S. and also provides all the potatoes to the corporations. Free Fry Friday is not so truly free.
Interesting. Yeah, that kind of thing wouldn't surprise me at all.
It's kind of like the chicken farms that they own, and they, throw chickens on top of chickens on top of chickens. And then that's why McDonald's changed their chicken to not chicken.
Yeah, which now has traces of plastic in it, which I guess is supposed to be better. Have you not heard about that? Somebody mushed down a McNugget, and then they put it under a microscope, and it has microplastics in it. Yeah.
That is redonkulous. Yeah. It's like, okay, you poor people that want to eat McDonald's, we're going to kill you off slowly by adding plastic to your diet.
Yeah, I mean, as if just the quality of the food wasn't going to do that anyway. But I mean, like,
so one popular question that I love to ask is what is your dream in all of this? My daughter makes me ask this question because she asked me one day. So she told me that I should ask you guys too as well. So. Okay. Not that I couldn't come up with such an awesome question myself. I'm just kidding. So what is your dream in all of this?
I can't do anything else. Like I'm good at other things, but to do them every day would be really, really difficult for me. So my dream in all of this is to be in some way, shape, or form a heavy hitter on some level. I grew up loving all these bands from the 60s and 70s, like the Faces and the Beatles and the Jeff Beck Group and all that kind of stuff. And I've basically wanted to strive to be that. I'm like, these guys are so much cooler. I'm like vanilla ice cream with no sprinkles. And these dudes are like, so cool, like, so I'm like, I just kind of want to be, I want to be one of them. Whoa. Hopefully the money rolls in, but I want people to be able to live.
Do you have someone that helps you with booking, like out of state and gigs and stuff like that?
Right now it's a regional thing. So right now we're staying, and yes, there are people that help with booking at the moment. That help us book around Florida and whatnot. And I'm sure that in the not too distant future there will be out of state stuff that's going to happen. But
well, if you ever do go out of state, give Massive Media MS a call. They are out of Mississippi. Okay. And basically he knows a lot of people personally, and then basically Nashville and that area, it's either rock or country. Like that's basically
cool.
But in some areas you get your so there's not a whole lot of need for or a whole lot of quantity of everything else. Do you know what I mean by that? There's
Right.
you those two genres are very heavy. So but he definitely would be able to assist you with that if you want to just tell him I sent you over his way. His name's Matt. He
Okay.
owns and runs Massive Media MS and me Simone. Hey, Carolina, you got to turn that down, baby. I can't. Thank you. Sorry.
That's all good.
She Kindle time, in the morning.
Right.
Come on, and then it's like loudness.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gross.
And that's what. It don't have a white thing in it. So I don't cook it.
Oh. I don't know whoever liked corn dogs uncooked, but apparently there is someone who thinks that they're awesome, and
Wow.
she's eating it uncooked because it didn't have a stick, is what she said.
No, I do have a
They teach their own.
Listen, most people won't get the humor in that, but my mom used to get it. No, she had 4 kids, man, so she would get so aggravated so quickly, and I understand why. I do. I get it. Trust me, I get it. Especially as like earthly creatures, you're very grounded. You got to have things under control.
Yeah.
And when things don't feel like they're under control, then you're like, wow. So, yeah, love my children completely 100 through and through. Wouldn't trade them for the world. Although do sometimes say that they are buy one, get one free.
Right.
I mean, I don't let you know the price, so that
comes exactly.
So I mean, at least you get the sales pitch. The buy one get one free.
Right.
They got defaults. But they're awesome, and that's actually why I do this way is because we have our shows. I have a couple shows throughout the month, but I'm able to stay here and be with them and do online interviews. Our goal by the end of the year is to be able to have an RV for Osment Entertainment. So then that way my crew members and me and the children can go and do traveling interviews. So
that would be so cool.
I gigs like before people go on before like their really big gig, like they want a lot of attention on it. And, you start in one state and then you go to another state up and kind of like work that way. So then that way you have such a huge community on your Facebook that, I mean, now I was a bartender for about 4 years. And then I started doing marketing promotional ads for the bar that I was working at.
Sure.
Ended up not working at that bar anymore. Kids and me, like we didn't really have a whole lot of fun. So we found ourselves homeless in a hotel. So doing the videos was very important. So then that way we could, keep our roof over our head. So we ended up having to meet, we did 4 videos a day. So I had to literally meet 4 artists or 4 business owners a day in order to, make it in. Long story short, I ended up meeting a lot of freaking people like over the year, if you 4 a day, you know what I mean? And that's your goal. And some days it didn't really pan out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like there were days
networking is the most important thing in the world.
Oh yeah.
It really is.
Absolutely. But I think being humble in it all, and, I'm very grateful for what I have today. It may only be, a single wide trailer with, 3 kids and me being a single mom, but I absolutely love it because I have water in the morning. I got something to eat, my kids are safe. They've got a roof over their head. And I think being happy no matter what you have is the most important thing.
Well, there's the important stuff, and then there's the superficial stuff, and
that's right.
Everybody gets all caught up on the superficial thing. Like I have a buddy of mine that was homeless for a while, ended up living in this little trailer that he was renting from somebody, like a little camper, like a Coleman.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, dude, it's like, I'm just so depressed because I live in this thing. And I'm like, do you have a bed to sleep in? It has running water. You have a refrigerator. Granted, it's not very big, but who cares? And it's like, and you're in the frickin' boonies. It's like, that's really nice. So you can go out and do whatever you want. And it's like, it's cool, man. Just let it be what it is.
I think, I was raised with my granny. So, big houses are for communities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, and me and my kids could be, I do have a 2-bedroom trailer. So, and they have their own rooms, the living room is like my domain, right? So like the girls have their own room. My son has his own room, and mommy's room is the living room. And everyone needs to know that, but we'll put it out there. But like, but they all end up in the damn living room. They don't even go to their damn room. Because we were literally in the hotel for so long that, we only had one room. So now they're just, you could spit and they're there,
Right. Well, you were very even tempered for that being the case.
Yes. And it's great though. And that's why I want to get the RV is because, our team is amazing and each one of them have such amazing qualities as like a person. And I know that not everybody would understand this, but I'm a single mom and I've looked for that other half for years, decades even. And it never set fit. So it never came to the occurrence to me that it's not maybe not to form that, but to form something else, form, a community and a family, even though my family it's close, but it's not like spit close. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I want, a community around them. Your family grows up and branches off. They're supposed to start their own fucking village. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I like it. I don't think that, I grew up in my grandmother's home where she took in strays all the time. Oh, yeah. So, your best friend from down the road is staying in the back bedroom because Granny just can't stand the fact that he ain't got a home to go to. You know what I mean? And it's, that's how I grew up. And that's how I think that, community and family should be.
Well, there are certain things too that, need to come before other things. I mean, and it's just sort of like, before it seems everybody's focused on the red and the blue, but it's like you kind of have to. It would probably be good for you to get the yellow and the green together and figure that whole shit out, and then you can go for the other thing. And then everybody's like trying to chase after this, needing to do this, and then you end up with people that are terminally depressed and stuff like that. It's like, look at what's in front of you. Look at the fact that you've got your family here. You have whatever friends around you. You have a community, like you're saying, a community of people around you, whether it's because you're working with them on whatever project it is, or because, you just happen to be friends with these people. It's like you have that. These are people that you can call. They're interesting people with different perspectives and things like that. And not a lot of people have that. I keep my circle really small because everybody sucks. So I'm like, I got like 4 guys and it's all, I wake up every morning. It's like, if I need something, I can text this guy. And then there's a 90% chance that, if I need something that he's there.
Yeah. I think, this kind of goes back a little ways. Like society has, drove it into our brains that, it's one wife, one husband, one home, and then you have to build, it's marriage, it's college, it's marriage, then it's babies, and then it's that one single woman now has to do that all on her own. Like, and it's not only that, but now you're calculating into not only does she have to care for the family, but she also has to have a job, because it's almost damn near impossible to survive on the level that everybody think is okay with just one income. But then it's always, you get more money and it's like, okay, well, I got to get better than this. I got to get better than this. The Joneses have this. I got to get better than this. It's got to be a brand new car. It's got to be a brand new house. Like,
the funny thing is how people get like that on a relationship kind of level, like with whoever their significant other is.
Right.
Where it's just like, oh, well, they took these cute pictures at this fucking pumpkin patch thing at this church and they were wearing matching flannels. And I'm like, and then we have to go do this because they're doing it. I'm like, fuck them. I don't want to go out there and do that. That sounds ridiculous. Like, I want to go out. I dress well. You dress well. We'll go out there, look good, and sit on a bay of hail and let's take a picture. But I'm not doing this whole photo shoot where I got to hire this. And it's like, when you get focused on that, and then it's like, well, at the end of the day, when you get home, the things that you're not, while you're trying to make it look like this, and then you are sitting there with your significant other and the only shit that you can do is fight.
Yeah.
Or the only stuff, you can't come to conclusions on anything. And it's just like, we're 7 billion different people on the planet on 14 billion different paths of life, because everybody gets a second chance, right? So it's like, if that's going to be the case, not everybody's layout's going to be the same. And these guys that are taking these fucking stupid pictures in their matching flannels at the hay yard, they might be at home hitting each other. You don't know.
No, or you could take matching pictures at the hay yard and be the most happiest man on the face of this planet. I mean, you could have hunched in the hay yard with your old lady and she could have made it, a memorable spot for that flannel. Like, all depends on the lady, Dyer.
But it also depends too on what the motivation is. If I'm going to go out there because you saw a friend of yours posted a picture of it and now you want to be in competition, I'm not going.
It's a date night. It's a pumpkin patch. Let's go smash some pumpkins.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, if we make it fun, if there's an effort that's put in here and it's just like, let's match today and then we'll go out because it'll be fun. Yeah, that's cool. And then it's like, well, do we want to go to the pumpkin patch? Yeah, let's go do it. And then we go do it. And then it's like, here, take a picture of us or whatever it is. But when it comes to being like, hey, listen, I saw Becky was over there, wearing a red flannel and black leggings with her boyfriend who was also wearing black leggings and a flannel. And now we have to do that. Yeah. Well, we don't need to talk about, her boyfriend wearing leggings, whoever she is. But it's like, it's just like, it's not about that, man. I'm not trying to be like anybody and I don't strive to be that. You got to focus on your situation and the communication that's there and making sure that you have that right person and all that sort of thing.
Come on, miss. No. Lay down. Come on. Lay down. I'm actually very surprised that she is the only one blocking the camera at the moment. The dog normally will hop up here and have to be a part of the morning conversation. So at any given time that his large ass decides he's going to come up here, he will do so.
I'm sure.
He's a Labradoodle, so he is like King Kong. He looks like a big old massive, except for he's doodler.
Does he have like the curly hair and all that kind of stuff?
He's like, come here. Come
sort of a goofy looking individual. Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's not even all right, dude. All right. Okay, hold on. All right. Okay. Thank you. No, he just wanted to see you for a quick minute. I know it's a bummer. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
It'll be all right. We'll be done in a little bit. Promise. Okay. Go away. Miss them all. So yeah. So how did you get started into music?
Oh God.
Oh, it's one of them stories.
Well, I started playing. It kind of is just because there was a lot. I've been doing this a long time, so there's like a lot of moving parts and a lot of different things that happen, and sometimes very strange things. Strange things tend to happen around me, and I never want strange things to happen, and then they do, and it's just like, it's like I don't know what's going on. But I started playing when I was 5, and I got signed to a record label in New York when I was 14 and had made a record up there. And then there was a whole thing where like their marketing and promotion sucked, which is like the most critical parts. And so found out about this marketing company that was based out of Philadelphia that I was trying to bring in as a business partner with the record label to pick up their slack. The record label got pissed and accused me of being a liar and all this kind of stuff and voiding the contract, which they did like 3 fucking times anyway, and didn't want to talk about it when it was their fault, but whatever. And so lo and behold, we ended up filing a termination contract and ended that, and I took the product over to this marketing company in Philly and finished the record there. And then went on the road for a couple years. He gave me my own band, and it was like really cool and all this other stuff. And then I came back off the road and nothing. And I was like, what the fuck happened? I'm like, this was really cool. And I was playing at colleges and NASCAR races and all kinds of stuff. It was great. I had music license for ESPN and all that. And then I kind of had nothing. I was playing 4-hour gigs in bars for like 5 or 6 years after that. And I'm like, wow, this is absolutely ridiculous. What happened? I can't figure out what went wrong. And so then I went and got into, started Rubber Soul Child, which was my rock band before all this. And that was a freaking nightmare all the time. It was built to fail. I mean, none of us in the band liked each other at all. And we didn't get along at all. I was an asshole because my manager was an asshole at the time. And then my band members, thinking that I'm an asshole, are also coincidentally assholes. So none of us got along at all. And so then that ended after like 3.5 years. I almost quit music because of that. And that ended after like 3.5 years. And then I got the offer to do this Wild Roots thing. And I was like, dude, I can't take any more abuse, man. I'm like, whatever we're doing is what we're doing. So my manager goes, hey, look, read the go up and look up the blues charts of the top 15 songs on there. He's like, I think that this is exactly where you're going to want to be. And I was like, okay. And so I found these charts, checked out the top 15 songs. And I'm like, dude, this is literally what I've been trying to do for the past 10 years. But I just took that and was going to rock with it. And then nobody in rock gets it. Right. And it was so confusing. And that's why I ended up landing on my ass all the time, was because they didn't know what to do with it. And there's no instruction manual. You figure this shit out as you go. There's nobody that's sitting there going, oh yeah, well, it's not going to work for us. So go check over in this side. Here's a guy that I know that's into blues or that's into soul or that's into R&B or whatever. It's right. Never that. It's just kind of like, hey, this record's really good. Sorry, we can't do anything with it. It's not what we're doing right now. And then that's it. And then it's like, wow. So now you just, okay, I guess I'll just keep on going then. It's like, where are you going to go with it? It doesn't make any sense. So.
Well, I can understand that. I wish people would be a little bit more helpful in promoting and, just stick to the shit they like. Like, hey man, I know a guy. You know,
Mhm.
that's the kind of world I love. Is, you know, normally anybody that knows me can call me and be like, "Hey Christy, do you know someone?" And I
Mhm.
can normally point them in the right direction. And I
Yeah.
think that most people should do said that.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I feel like in the music business though, especially on like a professional level, when you're dealing with like labels and promoters and all that kind of thing, and this isn't the case all the time, but a lot of the time, especially as I was coming up, it was really really difficult because it's like as if I'm not still coming up, but it was really really difficult because nobody fucking cares, and that's fine. But they don't care to a point where it's like it is every man for himself. You'll get done dirty, if you're not careful and stuff like that. And that's why I'm always like, dude, I will not under any circumstance be motivated by money or anything like that, because as soon as you start getting into that territory, you end up becoming exactly what you were trying to run away from. And
that's
I'm
right.
like, the dollar signs in your eyes start taking everything over, and it's just not cool. But nobody will tell you. Nobody tells you anything. And so then it's all trial and error, and eventually maybe you'll figure it out if you're intuitive enough to, learn as you go. But I mean, it's rough out there. It really is.
I mean, some people don't really pay attention to their intuitive side anyway. You know, normally
Right.
they think it's just, they're stuck on this train on just going and going to try to reach a goal that is almost damn near unattainable. Like,
Yeah.
yes, some people obtain it, but they attain it with using their intuition and their manifestation skills, not just.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
there
that's
are randoms that do, randomly. I mean, but nothing's
there
random.
are randoms. Yeah.
I mean, but nothing's random. So,
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of people that I would like to say stand in their own way, because I'm like, dude, the way that I look at it is why would you not try to be intuitive to absolutely everything to the max? Because like the whole point, there's no point in living if you're not going to get better while you're here on some form, on some level. It doesn't have to be intuition professionally. It could be intuition wherever you need it. You know what I mean?
but
And
I
it's like,
getting better is it's not in. I think getting better should be in soulful form. Like
mhm,
I always ask you guys your dream, and
mhm.
Miss Danielle is a firm believer. Or not a firm believer, but she's coming with me, whether she likes it or not. So the goal is to get like a whole bunch of land, and just
Mhm,
and there's actually tons of people across the world doing this now. Um,
mhm,
where they're buying land with other people and just
mhm.
making a big community out of it. And
Yeah.
so what my goal is to
Just
do
make
stuff.
sure don't make sure just make sure that you don't have any Charles Mansons in the mix.
Oh
Like
no, 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 no. Like I'm talking like we'll have
don't
one
let
big
don't let the dude
house.
with the cinder blocks and rope in his van into
Oh,
your community.
see, the cool thing about me is I do believe in community and helping and all natural, and I want to get back to that. I want to get
Mm,
back to the healthy. And I think having 200 acres or 300 acres with your
God, it's a lot of land.
best freaking friends that are nothing but just vibing on a great level. If I
Mm,
could have the money to buy me a mansion, why would
mm,
I not want to have um you know,
mm.
200 acres with my best friends living with me and be like, hey, you can live here for free if you grow me potatoes. And
Yeah.
you can live here for free if you grow me tomatoes. And then that big ass house in the center, everybody
Mm,
bring in what they've grown and then learning from each other on a spiritual level,
mm.
maybe growing some mushrooms on the side. I mean, just
Hey, nobody needs to know about that.
I mean, what'd you say, Paul Bryan? You said Jim Jones? Who's Jim Jones? Jim Jones. Who's Jim Jones? I don't know who he is.
It sounds really, really, really familiar to me, but I am not going to make any claims.
I can't quite look it up because then he'll skip, and he's already no. Jim Jones. I said Jim Jones. I'm saying he's commenting. He's like, no, here, look, see, I'm not. No, Jim Jones.
No, Jim Jones. I mean, I don't. He might be battling with autocorrect.
Danielle said, "Don't drink his Kool-Aid." No, Danielle. I just, she is an amazing person, and I think I would love to have her in on my little team because one, she's a permaculturalist. Oh, I said it. Oh. Anyway, yeah, without messing it up, I'm proud of myself.
My way that I would look at it is if I'm gonna if you gave me $1 million, or I guess the way that things cost now, if you gave me $5 million and I could take that money and either go get a mansion with it or get just a shitload of land, which you don't really need $5 million to do at all, but I'm kind of like, so if I spend $5 million on the house, so let me get this straight. I still have my property tax and all that. I have to spend all of my time cleaning. Then I have to put people on salary to help clean because I know it's going to piss me off and I'm not going to want to do it anymore. So now I got to pay these people, and then plus my electric bill and my water bill and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, yeah, but look at the crown molding. Yeah, now I'm good. I'd rather have a big piece of property that I don't have to, I can just sort of, at some point, I'm going to mow that. But I'm not over there right now, so I'll mow this, and then that's it, All
right, The Preacher. I'll have to check that out. The Preacher. He put a link in there, so whenever we get done here, we can go. I can't look at it right now because it will skip the whole thing. I mean, I could.
Well, it's up to you. I suppose it's relevant to the conversation at this point. So
I can't copy it from here. It just goes to select it if I can. So it gives me an option to show it, and it won't. If I show it, it won't let me copy it.
Interesting.
That makes sense. Like as soon as I put the mouse over it, even coming off from the side, it just selects the whole chat.
Oh,
I ain't doing that.
No.
Y'all can wait 10 minutes. It's in the comments. Paul Bryan put it in the comments. Paul Bryan with Gnome Productions, by the way. He is a part of Osment Entertainment. He comes out to every interview that we do and records the artists to give them further promotional material to help them kind of, some bands that we come in contact with don't have any recordings whatsoever, no live recordings. Sometimes we go out to events for them, or when they come to our events, he gives them free footage. So when they come, he makes them about 1 or 2 songs and sends them, the promotional stuff. So then that way it helps them build their career further.
That's very kind of you, Paul.
Yeah, man, he's awesome too. And he's going to, is it Full Sail, Paul? So he's taken he's even taken the incentive to take extra classes to learn more about the videos, and the editing and stuff like that. Amazing guy. He comes out and sets up, I don't know, 15. Well, at first it was 15, 20 cameras. I enjoy it. I love your face. But now he's got the 360 cameras. So we don't have as many set up. But when we were first doing it, it felt like the old, 80s, early 90s show where he had cameras everywhere. I didn't even know where to look. I'm
weird shit. Yeah.
I was like, I'm just going to go smoke a doobie and pretend like I'm looking in the right way. Right?
Right.
It worked. It worked. Okay. That's all I'm going to say. It worked. 8 to 12. Okay. Well, whatever. Big difference.
That's in layman's terms, that's 20.
That's 20.
Yeah.
In girl theory, that is 20. Hey, babe, you want to grab those 20 some odd things from in there? There's only 10. I mean, same difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, same difference. Oh man, yeah.
Either that or it's like, hey, where is the so and so? Oh, it's sitting in that silver bag on the counter in there. And then you go in there and there's like a black bag that has like a little strip of silver on it. And you don't think to look in it because I'm like, well, that's obviously not a silver bag. And then they're like, no, that is the bag. Why wouldn't you just open the bag and look anyway?
Just described me in a whole sentence to my son. Like, I will say that to my son. He'll be like, where?
Yeah.
But see, in my defense, he will go in there and he will look to the left, look to the right, look down, and be like, Mom, I can't find it. So, like, if moving something to find the object, oh no, don't account that, because I mean, you might as well just do it yourself.
No, I don't want to move it. I do the same thing. I just or if there's like a little paper there and just kind of pick it up and it's not under there. I don't know what happened to it. It's like
oh, me Simone, that is terrible.
It's true though, because that's exactly how that goes. Is that it'll be go into the silver thing, and then there's no silver thing, and it's this thing with like a little strip of silver, and of course I'm not going to look in there, and then there's all this agitation that comes with it, where it's like, that's the silver thing. I'm like, where is it silver? It's right here. This is the silver part. All you had to do was open it up and look. And I'm like, okay, well, for future reference, that shit is black. All right. Like,
you were wrong. Oh.
Yeah, you're just like, that's terrible descriptive language.
Well, this is something I'm learning in quite great forms. And sometimes I'm not the most perfect person at it, because I tend to get a little frustrated in situations very quickly if things aren't going my way, and it's not because I have to have things my way. It makes it more comfortable, makes it feel like I have it under control. Maybe that's a little anyway. So, but let's not go there. But like, I think learning or taking the time, the toxic part of you is the instant playback, right? Is the instant, like, yeah. So taking the time to kind of woo-saw and being like, okay, silly goose, this is a silver bag. I mean, maybe it might be black, and walking in there, and becoming a part of it. And treating, people today treat their significant other like it's just something. If you had a fancy car that you did go out and wash, and spend hours doing it, and then enjoy a beer after you worked yourself so hard. Yeah. If people would just put that investment into their relationships, then they would be much better off. Treat people like they're people, and kind of like your favorite people, instead of what I always like to tell my male friends is investments. If you treat your woman like she's an investment, just like you treat your career or your vehicle like they're an investment. No, your woman's not a property, but she should still be treated better than the other things in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that there's, that's part of the communication part of it though, too. Yeah. When you're with somebody, it's like, you definitely want to, it has to be, y'all have to be on the same wavelength. Yeah. Like I remember when my fiance and I went on our very first date. I turned to her and I straight up told her, I'm like, hey, look, before this goes any further, I'm like, music comes first. I'm like, I've been doing this forever. This is what I'm doing. And I have to. I've got too many years under my belt doing this. And she goes, okay. And then that was it. And so we're like 5 years later, and she still hasn't killed me yet. So that's pretty cool.
Well, that's good. That's
Yeah.
That's a plus.
Yeah. I'm not dead yet. If I was, it would probably be her fault, but because I'm not I'm not always like the easiest, guy to live with, but
It's hard,
Yeah.
to be an easy person. I'm not either. That's why I'm single with 3 kids.
Yeah.
I don't. I have a very high expectation. I
Mhm.
was raised by my grandfathers. I mean, and
Yeah.
my grandfathers came from a different era
Yeah.
than most men in this generation don't fit the criteria that I need. uh,
Yeah.
and I'm okay with that. And not everyone is going to be my cup of tea, but
Mhm.
I am an outdoorsy person, but I am
Yeah.
also a hoity-toity. Like I could be both. But
Yeah.
I was raised outdoors. I can put a
Yeah.
fancy dress on if I need to, but I don't
Mhm.
stay fancy. That's my thing.
Yeah.
It's not, I'm more grudge redneck, at home. I walk around
Yeah.
no shoes on.
Absolutely.
Barefooted, no bra.
That's the same way. Like I prefer the thing that makes it difficult is the fact that I'm not like, a douchebag or something. But my problem is that, I party kind of hard sometimes, and I have been found in less than stellar condition on a few occasions that would probably be enough to like scare the shit out of you. I think like there was one time it was like Halloween a couple years ago, and I played this gig, and a couple friends of mine showed up, and it was a solo gig, and it was a piece of shit, and I hated it, and so we just started doing shots. Well, we're supposed to be having a Halloween party at the house, so I'm like doing this gig, and I'm like, yeah, it'll be fine. I'm fucking pregame, and it's cool, and then I go back to the house afterwards, and I get in there, and I realize that I don't have a costume to wear. So I put on one of her dresses, and I did my makeup. So I did like my eyeliner and stuff. And so I'm just like, I'm going to go as a bald bearded lady, I guess. And so then I go back downstairs, and I'm hanging out for a while and stuff like that. And then I'm gone for like 2 hours. And where the hell did you go? So she comes into the bathroom, and that was by our bedroom, and she just sees my feet on the ground, and I'm like laying face down in the bathroom. So of course she thought I was dead at first. Then she comes in, she's like, "What the fuck?" And I'm just, I just make a little bit of noise, and then I get yelled at and stuff. But it's like that's not totally an easy thing, and shit like that doesn't happen all the time, but it happens, and it's not totally infrequent either. So it's sort of
I am
not
probably
incriminating myself.
the worst Jack drinker on the face of this planet.
I can't drink Jack anymore. It makes me want to fight.
Me too, but I
Mhm.
like it.
Yeah, I can. I switched. I switched to vodka a while ago.
Vodka.
I used to hate vodka, and and then I'm like, yeah, you know what? I've been doing the dark liquor too much. Let me go to. So I drink Tito's straight, like not all the time. Hang on, hang on. If I am drinking, I am drinking Tito's straight. If I'm drinking liquor, but the problem there's a problem with everything. Jameson and Jack and all that makes me want to fight. Fireball doesn't really do anything for me. I have to drink like a lot of Fireball to get something out of it. And then Tito's is great, except for the fact that the next day it dries you out so freaking bad. And you're just like laying in there in bed and you feel like you just soaked the whole night in like a bathtub full of hand sanitizer. And it's just like, it's disgusting. You just feel crusty. It's awful.
Oh, yeah. Listen, yeah. I don't know. I like to have a good time, and I'm great. I'm great having a good time if I'm around the right people. If
Yes.
I'm not around the right people, which is very important, and that is why I've limited myself to try to only drink like around like the interview times, because
Yeah.
I have my crew out there and
Mhm.
they are my people,
Yeah.
and if I go to the bar solo, I'm not around my people, and then I'm drinking, and I don't drink at home. Like I won't drink at home. Like if I drink at home, I'll have a beer, and
Yeah.
that's it. Like I don't drink more than just a beer at home.
Mhm.
So, but if I'm out with, the guys or the girls, with the team, I definitely will lose myself.
I can't smoke weed around people that I don't know. Like
Yeah.
I really don't like that. That's genuinely something that is just awful to me. I'll drink under pretty much any occasion, but I don't like to be tossed. I need to be aware of what's going on.
Right.
But smoking weed, oh my God. Because my problem is that like I have like this whole internal monologue, and it's like it goes so deep, and it's like, so if I'm stoned and I go somewhere, and then like this person will say something to me, and in my head I've responded, and I'm just like had this whole like formulated thing, and I'm just sitting there looking at them like, yeah, dude. And then they just look back at me and they're like, like, are you
okay?
gonna respond? And then all of that monologue is gone, and I'm like, what? Like, yeah.
What just happened?
Like, I have no idea what you're talking about, bro. Sorry, dude. Like,
That is fancy. Oh my Jiminy Christmas. I love that. I love that. I don't know. I've done that for the longest time. And like I said, I was a dancer for 15 years. And so the first part of my life, I was trained to drink every day in order to make money. I mean, to, keep up with the Joneses, I guess. So,
But so you didn't have, there wasn't like tricks where like you're doing a shot, with the customer or something like that, or?
Well, see, yes, we do have our tricks, but said tricks only work for said so long. I mean, you're
Right.
working an 8-hour shift and you're going in and, drinking with some, truck drivers, and they're, going to pay you $500 to see who could take 5 shots of Patron first. I'm going to take them 5 shots of Patron first for that $500. And then I'm going to figure something out.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
So, but the whole beer trick, that's a trick too. If you're doing a shot, and you got a beer and you take the shot and then you act like you have a chaser. But see, that only worked for the fancy females. I was not fancy. I was the one that was on the pool table playing one-handed pool. I was, the one betting all the bikers that they couldn't take the 5 shots of Patron.
Right.
Yeah, I was the rough one, the one that got into fights because she drank too much, I've been to, jail a couple times because I was dancing. So,
Fun times.
Yeah.
I guess.
I think I beat up a guy over a pool game once, and that was one time.
God.
But I didn't get arrested on that one, so that one was okay. Yeah.
I don't know. I try to be very careful with stuff like that, because I'm like, if I feel like I'm going to get into a fight, I'm like, it's really got to be worth it to me. You really got to do something that's gonna. Now, if I'm drunk, that's a totally different story. If I'm drunk, you could like, not on everything. Usually, I drink beer because I don't, like I'm fine. I can get tossed on beer, and I'm just sitting back in the corner, like, dude, Can you give me another one? But like if I'm drinking liquor or something like that, especially when I'm at gigs and there are certain people that are supposed to be doing certain jobs and they're not doing them, that will make me mad. And then I will have choice words and things like that. But in general, like sound guys in particular, I've almost gotten in fights with sound guys a lot, because like we'll go through sound check and then everything is cool, and then the show starts, and of course you do a couple shots before the set or whatever, and then show starts, and all of a sudden something goes wrong on the stage. So like I'm dealing with the first 6 songs, and there's this feedback, this woo on the stage and stuff. It's real ridiculous. And then I'll get mad, and then it's like one time that I was playing at Hard Rock, and this dude, he had like we were 4 songs in, and like I go over to him on the second song. I'm like, what the fuck is this stage feedback about? Please fix this. And he's like, okay. And then I go back over and I'm singing some more and stuff like that. And then he's sitting on the side of the stage, and we're like 4 songs in, and I look at him and he's just sitting there on his chair. And I'm like, what are you doing, bro? And then he just looks at me and he's like, I don't know what it is. And I'm like, that's not happening, homie. So I go walk over to the stage walk over to the side where he is during the guitar solo of one of the songs. And I was not kind to him. I was like, man, I'm like, if you don't fucking get up and fucking cut this goddamn monitor off, I'm going to fuck your shit up. And then I'm going to come down here and beat your ass and all this stuff. And he's like, oh shit. And then gets up and fixes it right away.
Paul says they can be the worst, especially when they cut the sound to be an ass.
Oh, I haven't had that happen. Thank God. But that's because things go wrong is why I do not like having monitors if I don't need them. I want to have my stage volume a little bit on the louder side so I can hear my guitar, and then I wear earplugs for my vocal, and then that's it. Because as soon as something goes wrong, every time that there's monitors, like this guy's brain cells just leave the building, and then it ends up potentially being a train wreck and something gets all messed up.
Danielle said you got to get the job done.
Yeah,
that's absolutely right. But I think that I love our sound guy. He is amazing, and we have had recordings with Paul where the sound was just like, I mean, it was all you could hear was the drums in one video that he did, and it was terrible. And I think, we in trying to discuss that, but see with our guy now, you could basically just go up to him and be like, hey, this is not, and he'll figure it the fuck out. He's very sweet, down to earth, loves to help. And, our videos sound a lot better now.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too, is that you have a guy. When you don't have a guy, and then you're left to whoever the numbnuts that booked the show is bringing up, then it's like most of the time, their last 2 brain cells are waving goodbye to each other. I mean, I've been on gigs where there have been I wish that I had the budget to have my own guy, because there have been times that I've showed up and I swear to God, they just walked down the street in Holly Hill and found some dude on the side of the road, and we're just like, hey man, you ever used an iPad? Great, come on, we'll pay you $40 and give you a beer. And then this guy shows up and runs sound for the next, especially during festivals, that kind of stuff will happen. This guy comes up, he's drunk as fuck with like 3 teeth in his mouth, and sitting there doing just an awful job. And I'm like, bro, why are you find the guys that actually need the work and bring them in, the college kids, because they care. It's part of the, repertoire. But
we had one of those experiences where, the sound guy was just, I mean, he drank pretty much all night.
Oh
And,
yeah.
you know, you can't like, my question is like, how can you function like that? You know what I mean? Like, how can you, sorry, I had
Well,
a
they
dog.
can't, but they think they can,
Right.
and
But
that's
and it sounds like crap though. Like, and
Yeah.
that, you know, and I don't know.
And then they start. It's funny when they start doing goofy stuff too, because then they'll get tossed, and then they'll be buddy with the guy at the bar, and he's like, "Oh, watch what happens when I do this," and then it just fucks everything up out front, and then. Which is
Okay, now that you said it like that, like I feel like that would be something I would do. Like, hey,
it only happens when they're drinking, and it's funny when it's not happening to you, but like when it is, you're just sitting there, and then all of a sudden your voice is just like got all this shit on it, and you're just like, what's going on? And the dude in the back that's running sound is just laughing at you, and he's like, yeah, dude. And I'm like, no, man, that's
I think you just need to take in time the little moments that stuff like that happens, and then maybe like throw on like, you know, whole like accent to go along with it while you're singing.
Oh yeah. It's situations like that. It's like you just kind of are like, because the other thing, I played a theater gig, opening for Little Ozzy one time, with Rubber Soul Child, and we went down there, and this guy was heckling me, and I was the only dude with a mic in the band, so this guy was heckling us, and I was having to go back and forth with him, and he was just being a nasty drunk bastard.
Right.
And then there was one point where I wear my emotion on my sleeve a lot because it's just the way that I am. And I got uber pissed, and just my whole face sunk, and the whole crowd noticed, and I lost the room. And then I never got it back. So like we would play full songs, and just people would just be sitting there because they're like, okay, this has gotten weird. And so it's like when stuff like that happens, it's one thing when you have like a decent crowd of people out here, and the, you know, freaking idiot that's supposed to be running sound is sitting off to the side, just not doing shit. Because then it's like when I go to the side of the stage, you can't see what is going on.
Right.
But like when you're dealing with the dude that's out in the crowd or something like that, and then you're just dogging on him, it's like, it's not good. You have to figure out how to play off of that stuff and not let it get to you like that, you know? Just be like, hey, look, if we sound like shit, it's not our fault.
By the way, this is your sound guy.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen back there nursing the beer and the half a bottle that he has left of that Jack Daniels somebody bought him 9 minutes ago. He's the man, guys. Why don't you show him that cool little button you pushed earlier? You know, like.
Only someone. I think that would bring the Jack bottle up front. That's super freaking funny. But I do, we are running a little bit out of time here,
That's
but
cool.
I do want to thank you so much for coming on with me and
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
discussing everything. I do, guys, if you can go and check out his page. He did. Now you have all the songs on the personal page, or do you have?
Oh, the record's out. If you have Apple Music or Amazon or anything like that, you just go look up Dyer Davis. The name of the album is Dog Bites Back, and it's all ready to be downloaded. Or if you want to help us out a little bit, you go buy a hard copy of it on either wildrootsrecords.com or dyerdavismusic.com.
Heck yeah. I'm going to have to go on and get me one. Okay, hold on. Spotify, yes?
So Spotify, there's 4 singles that are up. Spotify is a little bit of a different story. We're going to be releasing the album as singles until the whole thing has been expended. Okay. So it will continue to, more songs will be added to Spotify.
Okay. Well, I'm following you now. So I like to go in and at least the people that I have the morning chats with go in and at least love their stuff. So then that way,
Well, I appreciate that.
I mean, it's important. And then follow you. That, and plus, I like to have my own Massive Media MS, the guy that I was telling you about, Matt. He has his own playlist for all the bands that he deals with too as well.
Awesome.
So he helps out a lot, and he is one of the main sponsors. Also helps me with some of the graphics too as well. I'm not a very good graphics person myself. I do try, but it ends up a little girly, like this whole little scene right here. So
I don't think this is girly. I like pink.
Although you do have a unicorn throwing up a rainbow next to you, that I thought that was pretty cool. That was like pretty badass.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that. Never mind.
What did you think?
There's a whole. I have a picture on my phone from a long time ago that a buddy, I had put a temporary tattoo of a rainbow, like a photorealism rainbow puking up unicorn, and put it on one of my ass cheeks. And so it's really small on my screen and I couldn't tell what it was. And then when you said that, I was like, oh shit. I'm like, like, I hope that picture's not floating around. Now,
you have any of like events coming up? Like, I think I would want to touch base.
Yeah,
on
I'm gonna be playing solo for about an hour and a half at Ormond Garage tonight.
Where's that at?
It's up in Ormond Beach on Granada.
So are you out of like more like Daytona area? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I live in Daytona. So I'll be there tonight and then by myself, and then tomorrow night from I think 6 to 10, my full band is going to be down at Traders in New Smyrna.
Well, in March of 2024, we have an open spot on our artist interview. So if you would like to,
will you have the RV by then, so I don't have to get up early?
You won't have to get up early, not for that one. So we meet at 3:00 normally in the afternoon, and we have you set up stage. We do it at Leo's Live in Lakeland. So we rent out the non-smoking side, and then we do dinner, family dinner, 5. You get on stage for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, so Paul can get some recordings for you. Cool. And then what we're going to start trying to do is karaoke with the band and VIP. Cool. So like your VIP guest, we have now got it available to where they can come on the interview with you and ask live questions. So before it wasn't like that. So it's a little bit different now. We're trying to get them a little more bang for their buck, spending $50 for a VIP ticket. You get the meal, the meet and greet, plus live interaction. Plus then you get first choice out of the karaoke at the end with the band. So
what is the karaoke with the band thing?
So Dennis is our sound guy. Dennis Hodge is our sound guy. This is, let's see, she commented his name earlier. And so he normally does karaoke out at Leo's. But he has been helping us with our sound there too as well. So we're promoting him while he helps us out with our events for the interviews. Anywho, I don't want it's not a paying gig for the artists. So it's just a way to get promotion out and add, we do try to give them a little bit of what we get off the door, but we have the sound, the venue. And so a lot of things come into play to why we do the way things we do. At first we did them for 12 months for free. And then we, I don't know. I felt like it was something I was doing promoting wise. We just weren't getting people out there. It wasn't revenuing, nobody was interested in coming and seeing an interview. The venues were interested in getting the free entertainment, but they weren't So this way, I want it
How
to
it
kind of be
works.
free.
Yeah.
Right. I want it to kind of be free on both ends. They come
Okay.
out, do what they love for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then we switch over to the karaoke. One, because now it gives our artists time to drink and have fun. This is their
Yeah.
personal party. It's their interview. And that's what we try to do. It's not like an original interview. We theme out each party. These are
Can mine be pirate themed?
a pirate theme.
Yeah.
So you want to do like pirate leprechauns
Nice.
and more. All right. So these are like our little invitations, right? So these are our VIP invitations. They'll be sitting on the desk. Each one of these little fuckers were hot glued by yours personally. I burnt my fingers several times doing so. So but I got these. I've gotten little stuffed animals, red little candy heart trays for all the VIP guests. So we try to kind of personalize it each way we go. Mama bears, they deal with I'm taking care of the lobster and the frog legs this time, but Mama's pretty much taking care of the rest of it, which is the whole boil. Miss Diane makes the homemade breads. Paul normally brings like our veggie trays. He's the dude of the bunch, so he'll bring the extra stuff of what we need, either the veggie trays or the cupcakes or
Right.
something.
Yeah, all the manly
Something
food.
Winn-Dixie stoppable.
Yeah.
But he's awesome, and he comes out and sets up his cameras. It's great to see it because I started it out as just supporting the artist, and I was just going to take my phone in the bar and sit at the bar with the artist and have an interview on live feed on Facebook. That's all I was going to do because I wanted them to be more personal. I wanted them to be themselves. I wanted them to act out and be funny and cool. And, but then Miss Holly.
You ain't gonna get much of that out of me. At least
Well,
not right now, being early in the day and stuff. I'm
it's
usually a lot more
time.
lively and probably funnier, but
See, me and Brian from the Dudes, we came on here and started taking shots, and we were, it was 9 a.m. doing shots of Fireball. Woo-woo. I think he was having Jameson though, so.
Oh wow, he was having a great rest of his day.
Oh yeah, he was getting ready. He was getting ready.
He was getting ready.
Yeah. I'm a huge fighter on Jameson, man. I can't. It's stronger than Jack, and it's bad. It's really bad.
Jameson's okay. It's actually not okay for me, but I can deal with it. So I'm just trying not to get super tossed on liquor because once I start, then I don't stop, and then I'm, all uber mega fucked up. And then I have weird dreams, and then I can't remember what actually happened the night before, what the dream was. And so I'm like,
Well, you know what they say, right? They say what alcohol comes from the word, what is it, ahula? I think that's what it is. I'm not really sure, but it's called. It is a spirit liquid demon, and that is where alcohol was made from. Is from the anyway. It's a demon that comes in and it affects your seeing, your hearing, your balance, and makes you act in the most distort ways as possible that's not really normally used. So it's your dark side, fire water
incarnate. Yeah.
Makes you go bad. And I think that the important thing is to drink but don't get drunk, or to drink but don't get to the point to where drink to where you get to Taco Bell, because everybody needs one drunk night with Taco Bell once in their life, even though Mama will
that was a career choice for me at one point. I used to live right behind a Taco Bell, so I just freaking get tossed. It was the best Taco Bell around too.
I know it's so bad for you, and you want to know something, regular tacos are so good too, but Taco Bell has that, I don't know. It's like this. When I was in high school, me and my girlfriend used to go and get the family like meal deal, and we
Mhm.
just sit there and fucking just eat tacos all afternoon after school, just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's everything on their menu has the same 4 ingredients. Their ground beef is made out of sand. Their cheese is not particularly good, but there's something about it that's just like it's
It's the
Taco Bell.
mixture, man. It's the
Yeah,
mixture.
it's the mixture.
It's just
It beats-
like the Roman noodles when you add the Doritos in the
oh
slice.
yeah, oh yeah. It
Yeah.
beats the shit out of freaking Del Taco. I mean, it's like Del Taco is
When
just
I was in
incredible.
jail, we used to make these most. Yes, I went to jail. I'm so sorry if you guys didn't know, but when I was in there, um, I had got commissary, right, and
Mhm.
it was my birthday, and
Mhm.
they were like, "Well, let's make you a birthday cake with some Roman noodles." I'm like, "There's no microwave," and they're like, "You're a dumbass. You don't need a white microwave. Noodles expand." And I'm like, "What kind of shit did you smoke before you came?" It's chemically formatted to make it taste good.
Yeah, I think that I would probably buy that. I mean,
You know, I swear, if it's
well, there's a thing with Taco Bell though that they say that it's 100% real beef, which is technically true because the small percentage of their beef that is actually beef is 100% like Angus beef or whatever. So it's kind of true, but they just mix it with like beach sand.
like beef guts, what were we talking about here? Like
What do you mean?
beef sand.
Yeah, I was talking about Taco Bell. The
No.
formula to
I
make food.
know. But what would be considered beef sand? Like,
I had heard somewhere, which I would believe because it is a little bit on the grainy side, that there's some kind of like substitute that they put with the beef that it has the consistency of sand. But the part of the beef that is not the sandy substitute is supposed to be actually 100% beef. And that's why they can get away with saying that without getting freaking sued. Which I'm like, I'm not buying it, dude. I'm not. So I'm still gonna buy it,
yes,
but I
Moon,
won't.
I want to start my cult more and more the more we talk. I just want to go and get fresh food. Could you imagine if we were actually healthy and the
Mhm.
way we were supposed to be?
Yep,
How different it would be.
I know. I know. I have to. I've often wondered how that would affect our temperaments too.
I
Like
don't
just
know. I think
if
if
it
you
would make
woke
us
up
handle
every
stress
morning and
better and stuff.
your only concern was to make sure that the potatoes got picked, or
Right.
you had to go and help the women set up something. I mean,
Right.
I think everybody's aspect and demeanor would go a lot more healthier. I mean,
Yeah.
you've got the world today has literally put so much on each other's shoulders, and it's like, okay, you take this brick because one guy was able to carry it, so I
Yeah.
want you to take this brick and I want you to carry it for the rest of your life because that's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
No, that's not. It takes a team. It takes people. There are areas where I am not strong at. And if I've got an attitude or if I've got something wrong and I've built up, I call Danielle right away. Okay, this is
Mhm.
what happened. This is what's going on.
Yeah.
Why? Why
Yeah.
is it happening? And then she'll go over it in her way, and we'll kind of just um dissect it together, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Dissect it together. And that is the way things are supposed to be. Nobody's actually supposed to be on this planet to be alone. You know,
Yeah.
and they're
We
not
are social
supposed to do
creatures.
things alone. Women have been, it back in the day, people wanted to get so greedy that they had their own shit, their own house,
Mhm.
their own woman, their own da 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 da. Everybody
Mhm.
had that except for now it's just been you're just now spreading things apart. So
Yeah.
now one woman has all the responsibility of a household. It shouldn't be that way. It should be a team effort. It should be like the holidays when everybody comes over and helps out and puts forth.
Right.
And could you imagine how much money you would save if you lived with your grandmother and your mother and your brother and your sister and your cousins? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
Right.
I mean,
This is true. It's absolutely true.
but everybody wants to be,
Yep.
independent. Okay, baby. All right, we're done. I'm gonna wrap up right now. Okay. We've got to do gymnastics now, so we've got to, like stretch and do weird stuff that Mom can't really do. But I'm old.
It's the thought that counts.
Well, I was very shocked the other day to still find out that I was a back bend still accessible. I went and was like going back and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to fucking fall. I'm going to fucking fall. I ain't done it in like 6 years. Like, I'm going to fall. And then finally I landed it. My son's like, I didn't know you could do that. Like,
you're probably like me neither.
I was like, I didn't know I could still do it. Well, I'm doing cartwheels, and I'm like, and he's like, Mom, you can't do a cartwheel. I'm like, you're doing it wrong. And he's like, you don't even know what you're talking about. You don't know how to do it. And I'm like, watch out, you little punk. I'll show you. I did it. All right. It's only been 15 years since I did a cartwheel, but I did it.
I did it nonetheless.
I ain't doing it again, but I did it. Shit. Dyer, thank you so much for coming on and being a part of this morning's show. And
thank you so much for having me. And I'm sorry. Thank you for the mulligan, I should say.
Absolutely, man. You did awesome, and I love listening to you. I'm actually gonna, as we go into the commercials and the songs for the ending of the show, we're going to lead out with Trainwreck, which is one of your songs on your newest CD. So we are going to go ahead and go into that. I do want to thank you very much for coming on. And oh my goodness gracious. Do you play golf? Danielle wants to know.
Wow. Interesting. Yes.
Yes.
I do not actually. That's kind of a lie. I don't currently, but I did growing up, and I actually used to be really, really good.
Yeah,
but I suck now.
I mean, I'm sure it comes like like riding a bike. Like once you get out there again, and
yeah, I was hitting balls not that long ago, and I was like, yeah, I figured somebody was gonna, yeah.
What? Okay, I'm lost now because mulligans is what you just said. So what does that mean?
Mulligan's a do-over in golf.
A do-over.
So it's like, yes, it's like if you go to tee up and then you go to drive, you go to hit the ball and you like fuck up and something stupid happens.
Oh,
like,
so that's what you meant by that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give you another try. Yeah,
sure, no problem. Mulligans. Thanks, Danielle. I didn't catch that. I would have been like, yeah, okay. I mean, you're absolutely fine. I mean, absolutely fine. It's no worries. We took over your show, by the way. Me and Paul, actually.
Oh, I'm so offended.
And Paul and Paul. Yeah, Paul Thomas, the lead singer of Joe's Garage Band, and he's a good friend of the local area. And then Paul Bryan was on with me that morning. So I kind of contacted both of them. Was like, I need a guest. I'm going on.
It was so bad. I took the gig the night before, and then I got home, and I'm like, dude, I can't wait to go to bed. And then I woke up at like noon. And it was sort of like the beer thing where I'm just sitting there with my coffee and I'm just like, damn. I'm like, I totally forgot to do that. But
it happens to the best of us. I promise. You're not the only one that it happens to. And I've done it before, actually. And I even went one worse than you. I did it the first time for the first meeting, and then I rescheduled the meeting, and then did it again. So
That's pretty bad.
but it was all in. Okay, so the first time the kids were running a fever, I was up till like 3 a.m. with the baby, and I did not get any sleep. So when I finally got to bed, I woke up and I was like already an hour late, and I'm like,
Right.
so I called. He's like, no big deal. Da, 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 da. And then 1 second here. And then I the next time we scheduled out for a month later. And then, my other daughter got sick, and it just was a very weird. Anyway, the universe did not want us to coexist. It's fine. I'm good with it. And once you can roll with those punches and be like, you know what, it wasn't meant to be. And, in a relationship, when people fuck you over, hey, guess what? It wasn't meant to be. Better things are down the road. And I know that, later on in life, things aren't going to go that well, because I'm not going to allow it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but being able to, roll with the punches. And if you were late like 6 times, I would probably be like, yeah, no, dude, you're not. No, now you're just doing it on purpose. But I'd give you a couple.
If it happened 6 times, I probably would be doing it on purpose.
Well, I do want to thank you again, and that much appreciation. I would love, 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 love to get you on the interview list for the next coming year. So if you have any time in your schedule to come down to Lakeland, I'd love to do that. And get you in at Leo's Live, and have the crew meet you.
Cool.
We are gonna go in to Trainwreck now. I'm sorry, I'm scrolling.
Hang on just a second. While you're doing that whole thing, just want to let you know, name of the album is Dog Bites Back. And go head over to wildrooserecords.com or dyerdavismusic.com and pick up a hard copy of the CD. That always helps. Past that, it's still available on Amazon Music and Apple Music and all that kind of stuff. Everywhere except for Spotify, it's going to be released as singles. So if you're into Spotify, then you get a new gift every couple weeks. So
well, I am into Spotify. That's what I turn on when I'm cleaning, so I can hear everybody, so I feel like if I've put that on, then everybody gets played in rotation. So all the bands that I follow on there, like I have a huge playlist, so it just kind of just adds everybody onto it. So I feel like everybody gets a view.
Yeah, that's what the problem with the whole Spotify. The reason why we do singles on there is because of playlisting. And so if we want songs to make a playlist, basically it's like if you put a whole record up, then the curator pretty much has to take the whole record. And if they don't like everything on there, then they won't, So it sets you up better if you just do singles instead. It's easier. But
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I do now, though.
You do. And Mulligan.
And Mulligan. I might not remember that one, but I might. Actually, the next time someone says it, I'm going to be like, oh, wait, that's that golf term, isn't it? That's how that's going to go.
And they're going to look at you and just be like, what?
What golf term? I thought we were talking about Harry Potter over here. What is it? What is they called over there? Oh, shit. Ah, damn. Harry Potter. What do they call the non-witchy people?
Muggles.
Muggle. Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking you said, actually.
Oh, really? That would have almost been even funnier because it wouldn't have made any sense to anybody.
I was like, wait, okay, yeah, and I'm just like letting you go with it, like it's
fine. Dude, I've got a Muggle, and then you're just like, yeah.
I hope you don't have rope a cinder block. All right, sweetheart. Well, thank you again. I am gonna. I have a one that's starting to wake up and scream now, so we're gonna get going and listen to the train wreck, so we don't have to listen to Miss Kindly over there scream her head off, huh? Not you.
Well, do your thing. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you again. And I hope you have a wonderful day, guys. Dyer Davis with Trainwreck.
Screaming, and I'm way past believing. Is there a chance for you and me in this messed up century? I'm a train wreck over you, a one-way ticket to bad news. I'm a train wreck over you, crashing. Train wreck. Yes, I am. Stop blowing all that smoke and talking the smack. We've heard it all before. We ain't going back. Right out the cage, the same old song. How long can this go on? I'm a train wreck over you, one-way ticket to bad news. I'm a train wreck over you, crash and burn, never learn. I'm a rated